A room full of hackers, all trying to hack into voting machines.
You can possibly make it accept a fake card or accept any card, so you could add your own votes.
These are supposed to be the latest machines. They're still used in elections, and they're running ancient software. I think that, if somebody wanted to, it would be pretty easy to fake an election.
They've all been invited here to demonstrate just how vulnerable the tech we rely on for our elections can be. The experiment is the brainchild of Jake Braun. He's a former security advisor for the Obama administration.
We were there specifically to attend something called the Voting Village, which is something that's gone on for 3 years. And in its third year, they had assembled some of the most common voting machines in the country, both systems that are on the front end that you and I use to actually register our vote, and the back end, tabulators and so forth, that you would feed a paper ballot into. The organizers were reduced to finding these machines on eBay, which right there is pretty terrifying, because it turns out that anybody can buy some of the most common machines in use on eBay. We were seeing Dominion's imagecast system. It's a line of tabulators that paper ballots are fed into. That had its guts all over the room. It was not clear to us whether this was the most recent version of the imagecast hardware.
What's really troubling is that we discovered that a lot of the equipment that's being sold on the market now to replace old, outdated systems is built on operating systems that are also very soon to be outdated. So there's a lot of counties and states that are spending a lot of money for new systems, and in a very short few months, those new systems are going to be on software that's end of life and no longer going to be receiving security updates.
It's important to know that Georgia just spent over is about to spend over $100 million on a contract with Dominion to provide imagecast.
The vendors have been selling equipment without a lot of scrutiny. There's been very little oversight, so they could be selling equipment that they're saying is based on new secure software that really isn't built on the newest and most secure software.
At one point, the admin password was just sitting there on there, because it turns out that the same admin password, it applies to multiple machines across the room, and those machines were created in the 2000s, which means that they were in fact created so you can't change that admin password.
An expensive voting machine with a very serious security flaw is being purchased across the country. The voting machine is called the imagecast Evolution, or ICE machine. It's made by Dominion.
This imagecast Evolution voting machine has the physical ability to mark votes onto the ballot after the last time the voter sees the ballot.
The machine is a combination ballot marking device and optical scanner. According to information on the company's website, the voting machine is the only optical scan tabulator using a single ballot paper pad.
If the machine is hacked, then they can install software that marks votes on the ballot after the voter last saw it. And if the piece of paper can be marked by the computer after the last time the voter saw it, and the whole paper trail is compromised.
6 swing states have now purchased voting machines that security experts say have this problem, including the critical states of Florida, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. At a Board of Legislators meeting in February, the sales rep from Dominion demonstrated how the machine worked and answered questions.
My name is Gio Costantello, and I'm here to present the ICE machine.
Can you hack into the machines we have now?
No.
To hack into the voting machine company, all it takes is one person clicking on the wrong email, and now the adversary is into the network and can steal cryptographic keys to install software in voting machines. Then that voting machine cheats for the rest of the time without you having to touch it.
Dominion released a statement saying, in part, there is no way for the ballot marking device to make additional marks on the ballot.
Dominion's statement worried me because it really conveyed a lack of understanding of what the problem was.
In 2019, Georgia bought the devices from a Canadian company called Dominion Voting Systems. But election security experts have uncovered several troubling issues. Alex Halderman looked closely at the QR codes, where the votes are encoded for the scanner.
By analyzing the structure of the QR codes, I've been able to learn that there's nothing that stops an attacker from just duplicating one. And the duplicate would count the same as the original barcode.
Do you read barcode? Can you? Do you know that barcodes can have changes on them?
The barcode option has come under fire by several groups who claim the system is susceptible to hacking.
So this week, CNET senior producer Dan Patterson spoke with Chris Thomas, a hacker who's also known as Space Rogue. He's a cybersecurity researcher at IBM who specializes in election integrity.
Well, ideally, probably what would happen is that someone would get a hold of one of those machines before Election Day. Buy it on eBay.
The organizers were reduced to finding these machines on eBay.
Steal it.
The Secretary of State's office says it is unacceptable. Cobb County elections officials waited 2 days to tell them someone stole several voting machines.
Buy it legitimately from the manufacturer. However you would go about getting that system. Then you would pull it apart, research it, try to figure out where the vulnerabilities are.
And yet here these kids were who had opened it up. They said, look, you can pop the front off of it, and here's a port you can get into right here. That's easy. You know, all kinds of stuff that you could certainly do within 6 minutes behind a curtain.
Then on Election Day or before Election Day, you would need physical access to that machine to carry out your attack.
Georgia's new voting machines are getting a late software update after officials discovered a glitch.
And then hopefully you could change a few votes.
They are tabulating the absentee ballots of Fulton County, Georgia's most populous county. A water pipe has broken inside the arena. They had counted 86,000 absentee ballots. We don't know how many more they have yet to tabulate, but all the tabulation of those ballots has now stopped. We're told by election officials they may not finish tabulating those votes for a day or two. So depending how close the rest of the state is, we may not know the result of this critical battleground state for another day or two.
In Antrim County, ballots were counted for Democrats that were meant for Republicans, causing a 6,000 vote swing against our candidates. The county clerk came forward and said tabulating software glitched and caused a miscalculation of the votes. Since then, we have now discovered that 47 counties use this same software in the same capacity.
We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.